in there, and they do live there from year to year, but we have to replenish them.
Because you have birds come eat them.
Birds and snakes. Snakes love them. So the snakes will come in there and eat them too. So anyway, it's kind of a double whammy for the mosquito larvae, and that is the BT donut, and then the fish love to eat mosquitoes as they come down and they do whatever they're doing on the surface of the water, and boom, they get eaten. So that's what we do for. So it's all natural. We don't use any chemicals above and beyond that. As far as the plants in their container, I just wanted to mention it's a really good idea to plant aquatic plants in a container with clay soil. And there's two functions there. Clay soil has a really high CEC, or like it has a lot of surface space to where it can hold on to nutrients much, much better. And so, and there's no worry as far as like, oh, is it getting enough oxygen? The aquatic plants have mechanisms for that. And so you plant your plants in clay, like a heavy clay. And then anytime that I divide my aquatic plants and repot them, I always stick a chunk of fertilizer. So the tree stakes, the tree fertilizing stakes, the jobs. I always break those in half and just put a half a chunk per year down inside the root zone of that pot. And that will, and by the way, it's the fruit tree stakes. So they have evergreen tree stakes and they have, whatever. This is the fruit tree stakes, and the reason why is because it has a higher phosphorus count, which helps with blooming. Okay, so that would be the only chemicals that kind of get into the, diffuse into the water. But a lot of people are like, oh, what about algae? Algae is always a big problem, right?
Yeah, algae.
I know from experience, if you can have your plants cover about 70% of the surface area of your water feature, aka from water or from lily pads and water hyacinth and things like that, and it's not hard to do, then it restricts the amount of algae big time. The only algae I've seen for the most part is kind of that patina algae that kind of grows on the sides. Not so much the string algae. There's a lot less of that. So, and no chemicals. It's just all natural.
Huh. Do you ever have to clean it out, drain it, and clean it out?
Yeah, good question. Once a year, we drain it down, and we pull the sludge out of the bottom. We scoop and bucket the sludge out of the bottom, and that's just basically detritus. It's organic material that breaks down over the season. So the leaves fall from at the end of the season, and they fall in the water, and we can't always go and scoop those out. So then they just break down, and it just creates this sludge at the bottom. And so every year we go in, rinse it down, divide our plants, and this takes place, let's say, in April. Still cool, temps are still cool, but it's a perfect time to do that.
Right. Because you don't want to take your aquatic plants out when it's hot.
That's right. Yeah. I'll say, so then what we do is we fill it back up, and we always add 25 pounds of salt.
To the water?
Yep. Yeah, to the water. It conditions it. Okay. So we're putting culinary water in, right? City water.
Right.
And to condition that water for the fish mainly, but also for the plants and just the environment of it. So a 25-pound bag of like your solar salt that you would use in a not reverse osmosis, but
water softener.
Exactly. And anyway, so that is in a nutshell.
Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, I want to ask you more questions about like the construction of it. Like, would you recommend someone doing it themselves, or like getting a class or having someone put it in? I mean, you obviously did it yourself.
Yeah, and we, my wife and I took a class on that and learned how the layers. There's many different layers, and there's shelves that you can build in, and we have a shelf to where we can put potted plants all the way around the entire rim and still be underwater. So you don't really see those containers or those pots, but they're more closely to the soil surface or the water surface. Anyway,
that makes sense.
I would recommend a class, but I would recommend doing it yourself if you're physically able to. Otherwise, I'd hire it out. And just know that you're going to be around. I mean, snakes love water. A lot of time we have these little garden snakes that are in there with me as I'm cleaning out the sludge, and it's just like they just go past my leg and my feet and whatever. It's like, okay, whatever, it's all good. So there's a few things to know, that about what you're getting into.
Yeah, I've never dived into the aquatic plant water feature end of the pool, but yeah, the only thing I got on stuff like that is more like just like river kind of plants, so like riparian zone plants.
Oh yeah.
I never really got into like knowing what to put in there. But then there's a whole other section on like growing, so aquaponics and the difference between aquaponics and hydroponics and all that stuff. So that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah.
So but yeah, thanks. That was awesome.
Totally.
Hope everyone out there liked it. I did. I learned some stuff.
Yeah. What do the podlings think?
Yeah, what do the podlings think? Let us know.
Nice.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time, Brad.
All right. Later, man.
Yep. Bye. All right. Thanks for listening. That was Brad. Wealth of knowledge, Brad. His wells run deep. So I'm really lucky to have him on the podcast and be able to share his experiences with everything. But yeah, this one was a good one. I hope everyone enjoyed it. All right. Well, one thing we don't do on the podcast is have guests very often. We've had a few guests, but if anyone out there wants to be on the podcast, we can make it work. Even if you're far away from where we are, we could do a Skype call and we could do a live one, or we could do something. I think I want to start getting into the live ones, record it, put it up on YouTube, and do all that stuff. But if anyone wants to be on the podcast, if you're in local, that'd be great. I could have you over. If you're far away and you want to say, hey, this is what's really up with this, give us a call. Shoot me an email. You can write on the Facebook group, hey, this is what's up. So feel free. We accept applications. So anyway, there we go. Thanks, podlings. And don't forget, you gotta plant on, Babylon.